I'd like to offer you a warm welcome to a new world of yoga. My name is Sequoia Thom, and I've been learning and teaching yoga, meditation, and holistic massage for somewhere near 30 years now. And I've learned a few things along the way that I'd like to pass along to you, because I'm hopeful that the insights I've had will help you lead a more relaxed life, more fulfilling life, more connected with yourself and with people that you care about. In the years that I've been involved with yoga and meditation, I've noticed that many people are intimidated. I've had countless people say to me, "Oh, I can't do yoga, I'm way too stiff." Or, "I've tried meditation and my mind is too busy, I gave it up." And that saddens me because I know how much value I get from those practices. Everybody's body is too stiff and we all have too busy minds. And I really believe that it's important to have some kind of a daily practice that allows us to relax the body, to unwind, to get past the stresses of our busy lives, and to allow the mind to quiet down to a place where we're more in touch with our innermost being, which is, of course, the essence of yoga and meditation. Still, many people believe that to do yoga, you have to look fabulous in leotards and be able to sit in full lotus, which is not the case. The other observation I've made in all these years of being involved with holistic massage and nurturing touch, both in my personal and private life, is that people feel so much better when being well touched. You're doing the touching. If you breathe with your partner audibly, your partner will know you're breathing with them. And that many of us in this culture now are, whether we're aware of it or not, in some degree touch deprived. It's such a fundamental source of nourishment, and yet many people now are so busy caught up in relating to other people on screen through our phones and our computers and telephones, and there's less time for personal contact and way less time for touch than there ever has been. And in addition, North America has always been a little bit touch phobic compared to other cultures, and that seems to be getting more true. I'm noticing in the 21st century, possibly because of all the publicity about sexual abuse and date rape and those kinds of issues, that more people are on guard about touch and feel fearful that touch is any kind of touch is somehow prurient or associated with something sexual, when what we really need is caring touch that goes beyond sexuality completely. It's a much more fundamental need, I believe. We knew when we were born whether we were loved or not by how well we were being touched, and that's true throughout life. And that's independent of the whole need as adults that we have for sexual contact. So I'd like to get back to something that's more primal, which I'm calling sacred touch, to distinguish it from erotic touch, sexual touch. Not that those can't be sacred. That's a whole other topic, which I will get into. But I'm defining sacred touch as intentional, caring touch that does not have a sexual connotation or intention. And what I've come to learn in the years of doing my massage is that I actually developed as much benefit from giving massage as I do from receiving one. And I feel like I'm also getting the benefits of doing yoga and meditation. As with yoga and meditation, I feel like after giving a massage, I'm more in my body, more relaxed, more in touch with my breathing. I'm really endeavoring to be in the present moment, as with meditation. So if I'm drifting off, I simply come back to being aware of myself and the person I'm touching. And that's a very natural meditation. There's something very compelling about touch that helps me and the person I'm touching be in our bodies and in our senses. So I am suggesting the possibility that we can use sacred touch as a form of yoga, as a form of meditation. as a fairly regular practice, maybe a daily practice for some, at least several times a week, I would hope, to get together with, it can be friends, family, coworkers, of any gender, of any age, because it's independent of sexuality, and really clearly so. It allows us to share touch with all the people in our lives that we care about. So that's briefly what my intention is in creating this free online series. And it's very easy to learn this kind of touch. I've had lots of training in massage, and you don't need that. In fact, what I've learned is that the basics of caring touch are very, very simple. And that's what I'll be covering with my friends in this series. And the series is progressive. This part 2 is broken down into a few subparts, all of which are more theoretical. So in one of them, we'll be talking about what is yoga and what's the real essence of the meaning of yoga, and then what do we mean by sacred touch, and how can sacred touch be a part of yoga, what are the benefits, and what are the principles of sharing sacred touch as a form of yoga. In part 3, that's broken down into several subparts as well, just to keep it in bite-sized pieces on YouTube here, because all of us are busy and perhaps only have time for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes of video watching in one day. Each of the subparts of part 3 covers in real time how to do sacred touch with one or more friends. And I encourage you to look at part 3 with at least one other person and actually follow along. It would be actually a little boring to just watch it because it's like watching someone meditate. It's not very exciting, but to be actually doing it, then the experience is felt in the body and the hands, in your being and the other person's being. So the four different subparts of part 3 cover different areas of the body, each of which is special in that they're very safe, very non-threatening, not too intimate, and yet can convey much caring and nurturance. So once you've seen even 2 or 3 of those sections, I think you'll feel like, oh, of course I know how to do this. It's as natural as petting a dog or cat, and none of us needed to take a course to know how to do that. It's actually very instinctive, but that's my hope, is that you'll discover how natural and easy it is. The 4th part of the series is a discussion that my friend David Ho and I had about the yoga of sacred touch, and it goes into a bit more depth. David wanted to ask me some questions about how I got into this and what's my background, and we both thought that perhaps some of you at least would want to hear more about how I came to create this series and who am I, who is this guy. So that's what part 4A is about, and then in part 4B we get into both of us speculating, fantasizing about how we'd like the world to be better, as if indeed this idea of a yoga of sacred touch catches on, which of course I hope it will. Back when I first started yoga in the 70s, it was a very foreign concept, very strange and exotic. And now, of course, there's almost as many yoga studios in major cities as there are Starbucks. So my hope is that in even less time, the idea of sharing touch as a form of yoga, as a daily practice, will catch on. So I hope you and others will enjoy it and spread the word with your friends and family. And I invite your feedback. This is a first effort, and it's, as you can probably see, rather homemade, low budget. And I'm intending to continue working on this in the next several years. So at the end of each of these video clips, you will see the website address and the Facebook page address. Please communicate with me and with my friends here about how we can make this series even better. And feel free to write and ask questions, and I'll be happy to answer them in person if I possibly can. So I thank you very much for your interest so far in looking into the yoga of sacred touch, and I wish you well in your explorations. Namaste.